the Four Nations Faceoff commencing tonight, Flames fans are fired up to see their beloved Rasmus Andersson for Team Sweden. Razz is representing his country for the first time in almost a decade, and what he said about playing for the Three Crowns will have Flames fans in a frenzy. Following in his father's footsteps, Andersson is thrilled to be part of the tourney, which all goes down this evening. That is when it begins. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And oh baby, we got some Rasmus Andersson to talk about, and we have Razz speaks on Sweden. So obviously, Four Nations Faceoff. We're on the little break right now, and the one Flame representing our team, we can say, is Rasmus Andersson going and representing his country of Sweden, and he had a lot to say about the matter. Now, we have a wonderful article here from Eric Francis that kind of just shows all of Andersson's quotes here. So obviously this comes from Sportsnet. So it's a dream, Flames Andersson following in father's footsteps with Team Sweden. I have to be honest. Obviously, I'm not that old, so I wouldn't really have remembered Andersson's father playing, but I had no idea. I had no idea that Rasmus Andersson's father was a hockey player, let alone played for Team Sweden, which is very, very cool. But it's great to know that this is a dream for Andersson, and obviously, we are going to be cheering for Razz. So, Rasmus Andersson's connection to international hockey goes far beyond his appearance at the under-18s, and I'm going to get more into kind of his career path internationally. As we know, his only NHL team has been the Flames. So thanks to his father, Peter, it's much more tangible than that. Here's a little quote. I remember picking my dad up at a train station when we were younger, and he came home with a Matt Sundin stick and a Peter Forsberg stick and a bunch of others for me and my brother, said the Flames defenseman of a return trip from one of his dad's 4 appearances for Sweden at the World Championships. How cool is that? A Sundin stick and a Forsberg stick. Those are 2 of my idols from when I was just a young tot. But either way, that is super cool. My dad personally never brought me home any of those. Maybe some sticks from other players, but definitely not Sundin and Forsberg. Thanks a lot, Dad. But either way, that is super, super cool. What a beginning already for Andersson. Knowing that his dad, obviously is a very good hockey player, but getting to bring home some of that stuff, how would you not get super attached to the game that he probably already loved? So he has 3 gold helmets and medals around the house. So my brother and I would put them on and head outside to play with those sticks all the time. Once again, how could you not go outside and play with those? That's so cool. It was a pretty unique way to grow up, and we saw all that stuff. He talked about playing at the Worlds and the Olympics quite a bit, so it was always something you dreamed about. It's pretty cool to finally get to represent my country like he did. If that doesn't get you fired up and ready to cheer for Razz, I don't know what does. And again, there's no wrong answer of what team you're cheering for in the Four Nations Faceoff. It's all just for fun. It should be good to see best on best hockey, but obviously we'll also be cheering on Razz as he is the one Flame. Does that mean you have to cheer for Sweden? Of course not, but you always want to wish the best for your own players. So Peter, his father, goes a step further, suggesting that without the swagger, emotion, personality, and dialogue Rasmus injects into his game, he wouldn't be in the NHL, let alone Team Sweden. That's an interesting way to phrase that. It almost seems like Peter thinks Razz isn't good enough, but because he has that, personality, I guess he's able to do it. But let's see what he says. So for him, it's very important to have that. That's the reason he plays in the best league in the world, said Peter, 59 years old, who won silver and 2 bronze at the Worlds as a fiery defenseman who also played 47 NHL games with the Rangers and Panthers. Again, I had no idea about that. It's been like this since he was little. I honestly picked him up off the ice and kicked him off twice because his behavior wasn't what I expected it to be when he was a young kid. And, we have come to love the Rasmus Andersson stare down when he scores a goal. That was so fun at the beginning of the season, of course. And we've seen Rasmus Andersson's personality and kind of his fire jump out at certain points in the season. You think of not that long ago, him making fun of Tom Wilson for diving and them having their little scrap in the penalty box and such. You think back to the holiday Yule log video of Rasmus Andersson. That was hilarious. Some of his interviews with Ryan Leslie. Rasmus Andersson has such a great personality. And it's funny because, you know, Swedish players, not to stereotype here, but usually they're a little bit, you know, nicer, easier going. They don't really bring all of that fire, but Rasmus Andersson really does have. And that's funny that his dad, you know, had to take him off the ice a couple of times in his youth for some of his antics, shall we say. Here's more about Andersson. So forced to decline a handful of invites to the Worlds due to 2 childbirths, his wedding, an injury, and playoff commitments, Rasmus will be making his first national team appearance in over 10 years. Not quite, but I'll show you in a second. Everyone in Sweden just thinks that I don't want to represent my country because I've never gone. And it's not the case at all. It's just always been bad timing, said the Flames' only representative at the 4-team tourney. And I gotta be honest, personally, I don't have any children. I have never had a wedding. I have had an injury, and of course, you guys have seen me in the playoffs. But no, all of those make sense as to why he hasn't represented Sweden yet. For all of us growing up in Europe, it was the national team you dreamed about, and then you realized when you were 13, 14, 15, oh, there's an NHL too. I obviously knew about it because Dad played in the NHL for a couple of years, but for sure, this means a lot to me, and I'm sure it really, really does. It's kind of like, you know, you think of international football or soccer, shall we say. So many of those children grow up to play for their country before they think of a club, you know, before they think, oh, I want to play for Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, whoever, whichever team you support. I personally support Everton. Ooh. But either way, it is cool to know that a lot of those kids in Europe, they just want to play for their national team. That's why you see when, you know, Sweden or Finland wins the World Championships or even the World Juniors, they go bonkers because that's what they dreamed about. It's a dream for every player to skate out there with a national team jersey on, Razz said. Even though it's not a World Championships or an Olympics, it's a taste, and hopefully in the future, he can be part of those. It will be so fun to watch him, said his father, Peter. Although a bunch of Swedish hopefuls met up in Stockholm last summer for an information session and social gathering, Rasmus knows relatively few of his Tre Kronor teammates outside of Willie Nylander, Adrian Kempe, Gustav Forsling, and Elias Lindholm. Of course, he'll be making plenty of fast friends. Sweden has a very cool team, you know, quite a few vets in there. You think of Erik Karlsson, Victor Hedman, guys like that. A lot of younger guys as well, so hopefully he is making fast friends. And hey, it does all debut tonight, of course, but the big question is actually, will he play? Will we get to see Rasmus Andersson in this game? So it's very interesting. Hopefully we will get to see him. As I said before, it's been a long time since he's played with Sweden, so hopefully he will be actually getting some ice time. So as you can see here, it started way back with the Sweden U16 international junior team. Way back in the day, he got 11 points at 11 games, which is very good. And then he played, you know, for the Sweden U17 and U18 teams. He also played for the Sweden U18 team at the World Junior Champions, the Under 18 World Junior Championship, way back in 2013, which is cool to see. More U18s, another year of World Junior Championship at the U18s, I should say, in 2014 as well. And the last time he represented Sweden was on the Sweden U20 team in International Junior back in 2015-16. So it has been almost a decade. Even back then as a defenseman, 3 goals in 4 games. Oh, baby. Razz is an absolute beauty, but just great to see that he will hopefully finally be representing his country again. And the reason I say that is because of this. Well, hey, here's the game. It goes tonight. Hopefully he'll be playing in this one. Canada against Sweden, of course, goes at 6 p.m. Calgary time, so 8 p.m. local time in Montreal. But this is the reason why. So, Elliot Friedman tweeted this out. With Forsling practicing, Team Sweden defense looks like this. So a top pairing of Forsling and Dahlin, Hedman and Brodin, a third pairing of Ekholm and Erik Karlsson, and then Andersson as the 7th. Which isn't ideal. I think since he's going, we would like to see him play, of course, especially against Canada, since most Flames fans are situated in the Great White North. But, yeah, interesting here. Could he go in and replace any of those guys? Honestly, yeah. I mean, they have some really good defensemen, of course, there over for Sweden. But, I mean, come on, throw Andersson in there. Who knows? Maybe tonight they'll rotate 7 D-men in. Although it kind of looked like Rasmus Andersson, and I believe it was Leo Carlsson, were the guys looking like the kind of extras for Sweden. But hopefully Friedman here is wrong and we will get to see Andersson tonight. If not, hopefully definitely at some point in this tournament. So there you go. We're fired up for Razz, but please, Sweden, please play him. We are begging you. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, as we love to do here on the channel. And this was a very interesting proposal here from good old Kel Bale. Now, Kel Bale, I believe you're a Browns fan. Am I correct in saying that? Do you want a quarterback with the second overall pick? You tell me. But either way, he says, why don't they look around the world? There is no one in the NHL, and this multi-year search has made that clear. Of course, the multi-year search for a young right shot center. So he says, KHL, DEL, anywhere, go get one. And we've seen in the past, some players do come from those places. We've seen great players come from the KHL, of course, the Russian League, the DEL, the German League, even the Swiss Elite League. You know, we've seen a lot of players come from Europe. Why not do a little bit more scouting there? It seems like all of our scouting firepower has been in the OHL lately. Maybe we go across seas, try and see if there's a really good right shot center. You know, even someone in like the Swedish league or something. Anywhere, just because we're talking about Sweden so much in this video. But either way, very interesting proposal there. Let me know if you guys know of any players across the sea that, you know, could potentially be viable NHL options and go with what Conroy is looking for. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.